Welcome to Love You Bro podcast, where I am your host, Jude. And today, man, I got to do a special show with a young man who's had an incredible career in Kansas City. But for me, you know, we've always talked about being blessed this last year and a half to have shows where we do them with legends. And this is the Kansas City legend. I want to welcome to the show, Victor Williams.
How you doing? I appreciate you having me.
Good, Vic. How you doing, man?
Appreciate you.
Hey, welcome to the Love You Bro podcast family. You part of the family now, so.
I like that. I'm always good to have new family members, so it's good.
Man. You're going to have new family members and new supporters for your basketball academy, bro.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Yes,
I appreciate that for sure.
Yes, sir. Hey, Vic, listen, I want to kind of jump right into, you know, your career because I'm an old head. You know, I've always loved college basketball. I've always loved high school basketball. So I'm that dude. And I know I've seen you around for years, but I'm saying, like, I'm that dude way back in the day when I was a young kid. My brother used to take me to the high school games, the big games. My brother used to take me to go watch, and now I'm forgetting his name right now, John Sunvold at Blue Springs.
Okay, yeah.
So when Sunvold was doing his thing at Blue Springs, my brother was taking me to those games. I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to spend a little time with Rockers, so I had a chance to play along the likes of John Cooper, Harold Mitchum, Matt Muehlbach was there, you know, Kenyon Rashid was there, playing against Anthony Peeler in the day, the Anthony Cromptons. So seeing a lot of Kansas City, you know, players that have come through. And then during your time, the Jerron Rush, you, Earl Watson, and that during those times. So I want to kind of talk a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about your high school career. I know you won a state championship at Wyandotte, but tell us a little bit about your high school career at Wyandotte.
Man, I had a great high school career, man. It's nothing about it that I would change. You know, I was blessed to have great teammates and great learning environment. I mean, my high school coach came in when I was a freshman. Okay. And he just did a good job of creating really good culture.
Right.
And everybody knew, you know, what they had to get done.
Of course.
They knew hard work and being accountable was something that was big for our program. And so, you know, I had a great high school experience.
Now I assume you probably played all 4 years on varsity, huh?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
So tell me where it started when you first got to Wyandotte.
I mean, when I was, you know, that's the thing about today's culture. And when I was coming up, you know, when you was a freshman, and you know, unless you was, you know, Jerron Rush or something, you know, Corinne, you know, one of them type guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, or even like Earl. You know, I think Earl played varsity when he was a freshman. You know, my body wasn't ready, my IQ wasn't ready. I didn't have a game, and you know, the players were just so much better at that time. When I was a freshman, man, I was just happy to be on a freshman A team, and you know, I got moved up to sophomore. That was like hey, I get to play sophomore as a freshman,
of course.
And so by the end of the year, my coach allowed me to practice with the JV, and so that was a big accomplishment for me. But I had no ability to touch varsity as a freshman.
Well, listen, because I remember back in the days, and back when we were there, you know, you went into Rockers, you know, you played freshman basketball. If you were a sophomore and you got up a little bit, it was okay. But those guys were so much more developed. Back in those days, it seemed like the juniors and seniors were a lot more developed than the freshman and sophomore. When you see kids nowadays, some of these young kids, they're ready to go at 14, 15 years old.
Right, and I just think it's because of the culture of basketball. I mean, you know, a lot of kids are playing basketball, you know, organized basketball a lot earlier. But when I was coming up, man, like it was, you know, basketball was played on the blacktop a lot. Right. You learned a lot of just about sports and competition through competitive, situational and organic situations that taught you how to be competitive. Of course. So the players were not as skilled as today, but they were better. Right. Because it was more competitive. Right. I always talk about sports is a competition before it's a skills event. Right. And so the competition just overwhelmed you when you was in the 90s. Right. It just overwhelmed you, right? I don't care how skilled you were. It's like it was just too high. Right. Today's the competition is not as high. Right. So if you skilled, you overly skilled, now you can fit in as a freshman. You can fit in with some seniors. Right. Because the competition and just the way the thought process is when they approach it, it's not the same. Right. So, yeah, it's just a lot different monster back then. That's interesting, and that's very interesting that you say that. Listen, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. When I was younger, I grew up over off 63rd and all, and so I played in the Great American Basketball League way back in the days in the 80s. And so Saturdays you got your one game and a couple practices a week. So it wasn't like it is today with some of these kids and what they're putting into it. But so I would go out on Saturdays and I could go score
20, 25, 30 a game on a Great American game, right? So I'd done this several weeks in a row when I was 12 years old.
Right.
And so now I'm telling myself, like, man,
I'm
you know,
pretty good.
I'm pretty good.
Right.
So this is what my dad does. So Saturday morning rolls around, and my dad says, man, come on, grab your stuff. We're gonna go play some ball day. I'm like, well, we don't have practice. We don't have no game today.
Right.
He said, yeah, I know. We're going to go. So he takes me over to 31st of Paseo. So we go over there to that court over there, and he says, "Hey, go work into some of these games here." I was like, "Dad, they ain't gonna pick me up. They ain't gonna let me. They ain't gonna let me play in here."
Right.
He said, "We're gonna stick around here until you get into a game." So Vic, we went there, stood in there. I was there just waiting. I think finally one time, someone was like, "Man, let me pick this kid up."
Yeah.
And I mean, Vic, I went out there more than 2, 3, 4 minutes, had my pocket picked 2, 3 times,
Right.
back the other way, knocked down to the ground.
Right.
But it was one of those things that my dad wanted to make me know. There's so many different levels to this.
Absolutely.
I'm going to show you you're not that good. You're okay.
Right.
You're okay, but you're not that good.
Right.
And it was like, wow. But that learning lesson though, Vic, made me want to go back there.
Absolutely.
So back when I did that, by the time I went to Rockers, I'd already seen a lot of these faces. And those guys were like, okay, this dude can play a little bit.
Absolutely.
But it was that learning lesson. I was very blessed that my father knew, you're playing one kind of basketball here. There's
right.
many other different kinds,
It's levels.
Yeah, there's
Absolutely.
levels. So I had to go see that first. But let's talk about, like I said, so at Wyandotte, you had a stellar career there at Wyandotte. When you were coming out of Wyandotte, you won state championship your senior year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Senior year, you won state championship. You split the Dorena Award
Right.
with Jerron Rush, correct?
Absolutely.
So tell me, when you're coming out of there, what type of recruiting at that time were you getting recruited for you? Because obviously you're seeing the first team all Metro team.
Yeah.
You, Jerron's on there, Earl Watson's on there.
Right.
Where were you getting recruited? We know where Jerron was getting recruited.
Right.
We know Earl was getting recruited.
Yeah.
Where was Victor Williams getting recruited during those days?
So I was more of a mid-major recruiting coming out of high school. I wasn't at those guys' levels coming out of high school.
Right.
Those was I'm talking about two very, very high level players there, that I got a lot of respect for.
Of course.
I competed against Earl at a high level. I competed against Jerron. But I would say with my size and, my disposition,
Right.
I think that, I was viewed more at a mid-major player.
Okay.
And that's probably where I got, I had a few high majors kind of tinkering with me a little
Right.
bit. But I had, I think I could have went high major
Of course.
coming out of high school.
Right.
And possibly had some success, but I
Right.
thought my ceiling at that time to really impact winning early
Right.
was at the mid-major level.
Of course.
So that's what I chose.
And you went to Illinois State, correct?
Yep. Mhm.
And how many years did you spend at Illinois State?
So I spent 1 year at Illinois State.
Okay.
So I went to Illinois State, had a good freshman year there. Played for a great coach
Right.
in Kevin Stallings, and learned a lot. And my game really grew there. Like
Right.
when my freshman year, I went down there early. I had a mentor of mine named David Hayden, and my high school coach named Wayne Van Dyne. They really pushed me to get out up there during the summer.
Right.
Like get ahead of it.
Of course.
And so I went up there and I had the point guard who was there before I got there. His name was Jamar Smiley.
Okay.
And he was a all Missouri Valley guy,
Okay.
but he was an absolute dog.
Right.
Like dog.
Right.
Like, and I thought I was a pretty good dog. But when I met Jamar,
Right.
I realized it was levels.
Of course.
and he just took me on his wing that whole summer.
Right.
Like he approached I talk to him all the time, and I thank him for that experience because he could have just took it light on me. He knew
Right.
I wasn't ready.
Right.
But he would just bully me, punish. I mean, he treated me as if I was playing against him in real games.
Of course.
Like when we played pickup ball.
Of course.
And I'm telling you, that was like big maturity for me having to
Right.
go against an all Missouri Valley point guard.
Of course.
I'm straight out of high school, and I went all summer. I would stay around with him, and
Right.
wherever he went. And by the time the season rolled around, I was prepared.
Right.
And that was a big moment for me.
They say iron sharpens iron,
Oh,
though,
for
right?
sure, for sure. I think I was more aluminum foil. He was iron. he was iron at the time.
But you need those. You need those guys,
yeah.
right? You need those mentors to push you to make you better like that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I remember even getting. And I played on a very small high school level. Even playing when I was at Rockers my sophomore year. First day I get moved up, we're doing 3-on-2, 2-on-1. Guy throws me a bounce pass. I lay it up, and as I'm laying it up, here comes Harold
Yeah.
across pins it against the glass.
Right.
Coop's going the other way. He makes one outlet pass, and Coop dunks it.
Absolutely.
And I'm still looking to see where this ball went.
Absolutely.
And I was like, man, can I play with these guys or not? But just spending that one season, put it this way, Victor, I was there, and then I transferred to finish at Sean Mission East. Yeah. The one season I spent at Rockers playing against Harold Mitchum and Cooper and those guys, Jim Sheedy, Mike Dugan, those guys as seniors, I mean, they beat the hell out of me in practice every day. But I learned more in that one season than I waited 2 more years going somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Playing with those type of guys.
Absolutely, man.
So
yes.
I know what that means. What that had to mean to you having a mentor like that. Not a mentor, but someone's going to push you and get you ready for the season.
It was premium situation for me because, I always say, there's time and you can waste time. Right. And you can overvalue it, and depending on like the situations you put yourself in, and having that time with Jamar was, I overvalue my time. Like I grew so much, right? Just having that experience for him, so I thank him all the time for that experience.
Hey, now listen, when you were coming out of high school, you were filling it up, man. Yeah. Did I read correct? You scored 35 in the state championship. Is that correct?
I scored 35 in the state championship.
Ooh, that's filling it up, Vic.
I had like I said, I had. Really good teammates, man. That night has happened to be happened to be my night. But, for me, I talk to people about, Nate Johnson. Nathan Johnson was, I've been around a lot of good basketball players in my life and had a lot of great experiences. And Nate Johnson was easily, one of the best basketball, if not the best basketball player I ever played with. And he was just naturally gifted. Right. And he made my job so much easier because at any time he can go for 50. Right. At any time. And so you couldn't just leave him. And then we had Coach did a great job of putting us all in position. And and that night just happened to be my night for sure.
Who'd you guys beat in the state championship?
We beat Bueller.
Okay.
Bueller, they had a bunch of big guys. Right. And a bunch of, guys that can really play. Right. And we took care of them.
Listen, we have a lot to get into tonight, but one of the things I want to ask you, there's a question I got on my mind because I know which one. I did some work back in the day because I have a company called Primetime Assistance. So I do athlete logistics. So I worked for Brandon Rush when he first entered the league, when he came out of Kansas. But I have some conversations every now and then. I don't know Kareem as well. I know Jerron more, but I know Brandon because I worked for Brandon. Right. Who was the best Rush brother?
Jerron Rush.
Hands down.
It ain't even an argument.
It's not. And I tell Brandon that all the time.
Yeah, and I love Brandon.
Yes, 100%.
Brandon is a dude.
Yes. He's a guy.
And when you say that, you got to make sure that you understand how talented that family was for somebody to say that Brandon wasn't the best friggin' dude or Kareem wasn't the best. Yes. So you got to realize how talented Jerron had to be. Right. Jerron was a mix of everything. He played basketball speed and agility wise like he was 5'11". Right. Because he can get there. Yeah, he get wherever he wanted. Right. He played competitive basketball like he was the worst player on the team. Right. So he played every possession kind of like there was gonna be he was gonna get 2 minutes a game. Like so he out there running around dunking on people. Yes. And so he had this motor that just allowed him to be so, and he was just athletically gifted, and he could shoot, and he got midi range. Yes. Like, Jerron can defend, and he was super competitive. Right. He was the best basketball player I ever seen at that age. It was unbelievable. I'm telling you, Jerron, watching him, the way he would attack, come down the fast break, the way he would attack the rim. I mean, and like you said, he had that mid game. He could hit it from three. He could handle the ball, play defense. He was long. I think Jerron was the best one in the family. I was lucky. I'm a Jayhawk. Hey, don't hold it against me, Vic. But I'm a Jayhawk, and it was nice to see Brandon be a part of the national championship team. I was really, really upset when the recruiting happened where, Jerron had come, he was going to go to Kansas and whatever happened there with Coach Williams and, he ended up going to UCLA. But I really wished I could have seen him in a Kansas uniform because I felt like that's where he belonged. I felt like that's where he wanted to be. But it was nice to see Brandon get one in 2008. And Kareem did his thing in Mizzou and, in the league. Kareem, hell of a ball player. But Kareem, I think about it. That's that's 3 NBA players.
Yes, sir.
In one family. So, that's like the Ball brothers before the Ball brothers. You know what I'm saying?
The Ball. That's a good way to put it, Vic. That's a good way to put it.
They all good. And you might ask somebody who was the best, and they say Kareem was the best. Right. you would have an argument.
Of course.
You could say Brandon was the best. You
Right.
would have an argument. Like
Right.
that's how good all three of them is.
Right.
So.
Now the one that I saw that before the Rush's time that I actually had a chance to play against was Anthony Peeler. And AP could play, man.
Yeah.
AP was doing things. He was dunking on people in the 8th and 9th grade.
Right, yeah.
I mean, AP could play now.
Yeah, for sure.
He was legit. Anthony Crompton was tough in Kansas City, man. There's been a lot of good basketball players that have come out of Kansas City that have gone on to that next level. Let's talk about, after you started your career, Illinois State, then you go over to Oklahoma State. You broke my heart a few times at Oklahoma State. I saw you dropping them threes over there in Stillwater against Kansas and Coach.
Right.
Tell me about your time at Oklahoma State.
It was a great experience, man. I transferred from Illinois State. My coach had left. He went to Vanderbilt.
Okay.
In the way my GPA was set up at the time, he wasn't ready for Vanderbilt. So I had to make a pivot.
Yeah.
And, Vanderbilt, Ivy League, man.
Right.
So I had to make a pivot and got into the transfer portal and went on some visits and went to Oklahoma State. And at the time, you had to sit out.
Right. You had to sit out a year, didn't you?
I had to sit out a year.
Yeah.
And so they was strong senior class on my sit out.
Okay.
So I was like, man, you had Doug Gottlieb, you had Brandon Mason.
Right, yeah.
Not Brandon Mason. God damn. You had Mace.
Right.
Then you had Joe Atkins.
Right.
You had just a really good team. That team went to the Elite Eight that year.
Now Coach Sutton was there at that time,
Coach
right?
Sutton, Coach Sutton was there.
Okay.
And so it just gave me, man, I played for a legend.
Yeah.
Doug is gone, which was a starting point guard. Joe Atkins is gone.
Right.
Those guys was leaving, so I had a chance to go right in the fire.
Right.
It just made sense, and it was the best decision I ever made.
Was that Big 12 time, or is that still Big 8 time then?
Big 12.
That was Big 12.
Yep, Big 12.
So the beginning of the Big 12, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the beginning of the Big 12.
Yep.
And then what did you guys end up doing those 2-3 years you were there at Oklahoma State?
We always was at the KU always won the league.
Right.
Right. But we was always in the mix, second, third, fourth, somewhere in there. I won 20 games every year I was there, and we always would fall. That was kind of one of my biggest regrets is I don't think I never played as well as I wanted to play in the tournament for some reason. Until my senior year, played well then, but got knocked out by Carmelo. He just ran through everybody that 2003.
Yes, he did. He ran through.
He was.
He finished off by Jayhawks too.
Absolutely.
He finished off by Jayhawks.
We called Syracuse the winner of the Big 12 that year.
They knocked everybody. He knocked everybody out there.
Yeah, he locked us. He locked Oklahoma. He locked Texas and KU out.
Oh my God.
He knocked everybody. Like Carmelo knocked everybody out. Everybody that was in the tournament from the Big 12 that year, and Carmelo knocked out.
And if you remember that national championship game against Kansas, McNamara was the guy who killed him.
Yeah.
He killed Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, Melo was for sure the MVP, but McNamara
like
killed
7
Kansas.
threes. Yeah, like 7 threes against Kansas.
He killed Kansas.
He made some shots.
Vic, let's talk a little bit because we're gonna obviously get into the great things you're doing here with your basketball academy, kids you're coaching, kids that have come through your academy. But I want to talk a little bit about this NIL stuff. NIL has obviously changed the scope of college football, college basketball. What are you telling kids or how young? Because I'm starting to see, and working just the field I work in, I'm starting to see kids 15, 16 years old get agents, knowing that they're going to go play D1 or something, and they got to have these NIL agents, whether they're playing college football or college basketball.
Right.
What are some of the conversations you're having, and how early is it starting now at your academy, talking about NIL and agents and stuff?
For me, man, I just kind of continue to make the main thing, and the NIL is one of them things that can take care of itself. You just got to get better. I think too many people kind of get so caught up in preparing for the NIL that they forget that people are going to pay the most money to the best players.
Right.
So if you just focus on getting better,
right,
not focus on who your agent is or anything like that, just focus on getting better, you'll be able to negotiate whatever you want to negotiate.
Of course.
That's just what it is. So for me, I don't get into it a lot until the time is right. And I think it's a great thing. Don't get me wrong. I think players, you got to remember a college basketball player who lived off of a few dollars and
of course,
and a a card that get your food. You know what I mean? That's all I had.
Right.
You know, so for somebody that has experienced that in college and see the players getting what they're getting now, you know, it's a true blessing for those guys. But I think that they got to continue to stay right where their feet are, focusing on getting better every day, and all the rest of that stuff take care of itself.
You know, I'm definitely an advocate to when they were talking about paying, you know, college players NIL, because again, you know, I've been around athletes and stuff my whole life, and I've seen the guys in college, even the D1s. That I said, you know, you see the school selling the jerseys and selling the tickets and doing the stuff, and then you have kids where you're telling me that they don't have no money, like you said, like what you had to try to get through, even being on scholarship, what you had to try to get through.
Absolutely.
So I'm definitely an advocate for the kids getting the money. I just think there's got to be some type of control on this NIL, because it's getting out of whack in so many different areas. So what do you? I mean, here's my thing. I look at a team like Kansas right now. You know, you look at this Darren Peterson situation. Right. It's everywhere in the media. I mean, if you're a college basketball person, which I know you are, you got your academy, you're listening, you see the reports, it's popping up all over the place. Right. How do you think that's something that's going to continue to affect college basketball? Yeah. Do you think this DP thing do you think it's his handlers and his agents? And I know you don't know firsthand, but do you think it's his agents and his handler that's saying, hey, we're going to kind of limit the minutes? Right. Or I mean, at that point, where does Coach Self, you know, what kind of control does he have or not have, you know, when it comes to these guys?
I think because there's no rules and regulation, you know, it's kind of cut off the head of the coach to be able to make, you know, decisions and be able to coach performance. Right. And kind of just stay in the space of building young kids and the young men, because there's no control. So you allowing all the handlers and agents and everybody in, you know, negotiating things that people haven't earned. Right. And I think the best thing that you can do for kids is teach them how to be earners of whatever they get. Right. Whatever you know, the old saying, what you put into it is what you get out of it. Right.
For sure.
And I think that makes you a high-level young man, a high-level young lady, just to know that you have to work for what you earn.
Of course.
And I think because there's no rules and regulations, it's all over the place. There's an attitude that has gotten amongst the kids is that, what are you going to give me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's I'm coming in there. Right. I'm not asking about any plan, none of that. I want to know how much money I'm going to get. Right. And then it's like, okay, what have you earned? Right. And then there's nothing there, you know. Right. So I think I love the space of the NIL, but I still think there needs to be some kind of something in place. Right. I don't have the answer. Of course. But something in place to be able to hold people to the fire.
Hold them accountable.
Hold them accountable to their performance.
Right.
And I think until we do that, you will always just have these types of situations of the unknown. And I don't think nobody can speak to if Darren Peterson is really hurt or if he's not hurt.
Of course. That is the one thing too, right?
Yeah, nobody can really speak to it, but I think the narrative is out there because there's no rules. Right. But if there was rules to where that's in place that says, well, you know, DP can't get this if he doesn't play this amount of games. Right. Now we know, okay, he got to be hurt. You know what I'm saying? He got to be doing this.
Because he's leaving money on the table.
Absolutely. He's leaving something. He has to He has to give up something. Right. And so I think that's the thing that we need to get a hold of. Is something to kind of pull it all together. Right. You know, you watch this NIL and you watch, you know, the transfer report and everything, and I think it's good for kids because back in the day, a coach could leave, and if a coach left and you were stuck there, then you had to sit out again. I thought that was totally. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah,
that's terrible because I think it's unfortunate for the kid. Yeah. If you recruited me, now you leave, and now if I even go with you, I got to sit a year.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't like that, but Vic, and I know because listen, I followed you since you were in high school. Followed you in college because I always follow all the KC legends, man. I like to watch what they do, and I love watching what you're doing with your basketball program, with your academy here, and we're gonna dive into more of that. And I know you're a tough coach. I've known, I've read, I've seen what you do with your teams. Right. My thing right now with this transfer portal, I feel like so many more kids are soft these days because back in our day, if you got put to the end of the bench or you didn't, I knew in baseball. If I wasn't hitting, I wasn't playing. Period. If you wasn't sticking, you wasn't playing. You didn't have to ask your mom to call the coach or hey dad. Like my dad be like, hey bro, you was 0 for 6 last 2 games. You ain't playing this third game.
Right, that ain't my problem.
Right, that's it. And the same thing with football, basketball, whatever it is. But nowadays, I feel like these kids they run into a coach or something that they don't like, and they're not getting playing time. time. And maybe back here in Kansas City, they're at high school, they started 3 years or started 4 years. They were, 3-star, 5-star kid. But then I feel like if they get knocked down, I don't feel like these kids these days know how to get back up, take that punch, and just stick it through.
Right.
Well,
and I think that's parenting.
Right.
I mean, anybody that tell you that played in my program would tell you I hold them accountable. And I've always found out, man, in the 23 years of doing what I'm doing, that kids start to really love being coached. I mean, they love being held accountable. They really do. They start to gravitate towards it. They start to ask for more of it. Now, what parents have done is, because it's something they have to grow, it's a learned behavior.
Right.
It was a learned behavior for me. It was a learned behavior for you.
Yeah.
But what parents have done, they forgot the old way of teaching. Is in sports, it's like, that's not my deal.
Right.
That's a conversation you need to have with your coach.
Right.
And you go have that conversation with your coach, and whatever happens there is what happens there.
Right.
I'm only here to support
you. Right.
And parents are emailing. Parents are going and having the conversations with the coach. Parents are, getting in the car with the kid and telling them, what they did good and why the coach is not this. And it's just like they've are not allowing that open space for their kid to grow mentally when it comes to dealing with adversity.
Right.
There's a space there that every person has.
Of course.
And in order for you to close that space, you have to teach them how to deal with it.
Right.
But all the kids still have that open space because the parents never taught them to deal with anything. And then when they get out in real world, that same stuff hits them.
Right.
And then they bail them out of that, and now you got somebody living with you at 23, 24 years old.
You know what? I love that, Vic, because it's true. Because going through stuff I went through in high school, being knocked down and being able to get back up and be like, hey man, you get knocked down, your dad look at you like, man, you better get back up and do something. Like, I'm not gonna just pick you up and save you all the time.
Absolutely.
And I think those are a lot of the life lessons that we learn that even later on in life, for me, I learned as a young man, helped me later on in life in business, in workplaces. But I think now the way they coddle these kids and tell them all, hey, everybody can't be a 5-star, Vic.
Absolutely.
Everybody can't be a 5-star kid.
Absolutely.
But I love seeing the kids that are 2-star kids, 3-star kids, and later on they develop. And I want to talk about a young man that you had here in your program. We're going to bring him up. I'd love to get him on the show sometime. But I want to talk a little bit about, I want to know how early you met this young man, I know where you developed. I know where he developed, but the big things he's doing right now. Let's talk a little bit about Keaton Wagler, Illinois.
Well, I got Keaton. I got a phone call. Keaton, first and foremost, what a lot of people, they might know, but they might not know, is that Keaton come from a basketball family. Mama played basketball, dad played basketball, brother played, sister played, uncle played.
Right.
So he come from a long strand of basketball.
Okay.
So basketball didn't start when he came to us, but his older brother at the time was like a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
I think that's sophomore, junior in high school, and he was young. He was still in middle school, and his mom and dad really reached out to me to really help his older brother. Of
course.
Keaton was kind of, we're gonna put Keaton in that group and really help him a little bit. But they was really concerned about really helping Landon at the time. Really helping his skill set and really giving him some confidence in the life. And he's a high level player. And so when I got him, Keaton came and he would work with Landon. I'd do my groups, and it was just kind of something we was doing from a workout perspective, And over time, I gained the respect from the parents, gained the respect from the family. Like, I think this is something, because Landon was kind of older. He was on his way. He was on his way to college, and then Keaton was still young. So I earned the respect from them to say, hey, I want him to come and play for your program. And that's kind of when it all started.
So when did you see Keaton really kind of start coming into his own, where he kind of started taking off? I know he had his career at Shawn Mission Northwest. What was his career like at Shawn Mission Northwest? And then when did you see him kind of take off here in your program?
High school, at Shawn Mission Northwest, I think he started kind of on JV. And then, by the middle of the end of the year, he's kind of playing a little bit of varsity minutes. For us, he was playing on our 15s team. And we had our 15s team was coached by Matt Gore at the time. And then he's an assistant coach at Rockhurst right now. And he was coaching him. And we got our first tournament coming out of Omaha, Nebraska. And my 17s, we play early, so I'm hitting the road. I'm back. And 16s, we was all back. And Matt and Keaton's team, they had to play a game. And Matt, I was talking, so how did the team go? He said, man, we end up winning, but, I don't know how good we're going to be this year. He said, but I'm telling you, I got 2 Division I players on this team. and it was Keaton, and it was also Nick at the time. Nick plays at Loyola like now. He's the high level. Nick Anderson, high level player. So what he said ended up being true.
Yeah, right.
but when he said it, I'm like, I see Keaton every day now. He's 5'9" right now. Like how are you really seeing what
right?
But it was something that he seen at the time. And he really told me that, and I always talk to him about that all the time. It's like, bro, you the first one that told me he was gonna be that guy. And so he, that's kind of his moment too. So he called it. But for me, if you ever around Keaton, you recognize his ability to he's the most self-confident kid I've ever been around. Like not the exterior stuff to make you think that he's confident, but the interior stuff that puts him in his own box. And he knows what he's looking for. He knows what he wants to do. He knows what he is. And so he's not trying to prove himself to anybody. He's just a winner.
Of course.
So whatever the winning play is, he's going to make it every time.
Wow.
And you had to convince him sometime. Like the winning play sometimes is for you to shoot it over that guy that's guarding you, because that's a marginal shot for you. Open shot for somebody else. But you're capable. And you had to have that conversation with him a lot. But he'll still make that play. And that's why people play hard for him. His teammates play hard for him, because he makes that play.
He makes that play,
and he's just, one of them special kids from a mental standpoint that makes him who he is.
Did it surprise you when he was, as he started coming out of high school, that he wasn't getting more of those big, the D1, the Power 5 schools scholarships?
It was hard for me, you know what I'm saying? And it's something that I don't talk to a lot of people about, but it really was. It was hard for me. It was hard for me, because when you want something for somebody that you really love, you start to really dive into it, and it becomes who you are. It becomes emotionally. So, he's one of those guys that can kind of, if you're watching him play, he's got the same demeanor the whole time. I'm all over the place. Nobody ever guessed. I wonder if Vic's sad today. I wonder if he's happy. Like everybody knows. And so it was a good balance for us, because I never wanted to really show him that, because I know he was just kind of like, V, let's keep doing what we doing. Right? And I'm like, man, I can't believe they don't, man. He just had 25, 10 rebounds. This high major guys. And they wouldn't, so it was hard for me. But the one thing that we always talk about is, make the main thing, and just keep working, and your plan is going to happen when it's right time for your plan.
So here at your basketball club, you're he's during his senior year, whatever, going through, and he's not getting as many. Do you start reaching out to D1 coaches, or do you? How does that kind of work?
I was reaching out to D1 coaches before his senior year. Before he became like undeniable. To me, his senior year was undeniable. Like that's why when people start talking about like I can't believe nobody's seen it. Like, yeah, me either, because he was undeniably a high major player. But before then, I seen it. Like, I just seen it. It was just something that was just moving. I've been around dudes, you know what I mean? Like, like I know, like, I know it, and I've coached them. I've seen it happen. So up until then, it was kind of like I didn't understand why. But his senior year was just like, bro, like this is it's something in the water, bro. Because there's no way you can't see this. So.
Because, like I said, you listen. You've been around. You're a legend here in Kansas City. You know when you can tell he's a guy.
He's a dick. Yeah.
He's a guy.
Yeah. I've always how easy they make the game look. Easy. That's how I can determine it.
Of course.
Like if you can make the game look easy, you are undeniable high level player. And when he got, I would say going into, because I start playing him up. Going into his after his junior year, right? No, after sophomore year. So going into his junior year, he played up, and even when he started playing up in July, I had him coming off the bench like 6 man, but he was a starter.
Of course.
But I had some older guys, let them start the game, and then it's like, okay, it's time to win, bring Keaton in. You know what I'm saying? And when I would do it, the game got easier. For me to coach it, passes, I was trying to get the ball from there to there, and when he got in the game, it got there. You know what I mean? Like, spacing was good. Like, you could play him on the ball, but, okay, you need to play him off the ball, fine. You can play off the ball. Like, the game got easy
Right.
when he played.
Yeah.
So, it was undeniable for me.
The guys that are guys, they make it look easy,
They
right?
make it look easy. They make hard things look easy.
Okay, listen, we're going to take a little break for a second, then we're going to come back. We're going to start talking. I want you to tell me about how your basketball academy started, kind of where it's grown to, and what it is today.
That's not.
Okay,
Appreciate you.
thanks. Welcome back to Love Your Real Podcast, where I just want to thank all of our sponsors. We've been very blessed and fortunate. Proactive Solutions, Lula Southern Cookhouse, and all the other sponsors that we had during 2025. I just want to thank them. We have a new resident sponsor that has joined us for 2026, Maloney Sports Bar and Grill. We want to thank them and thank them over there very much. We're going to start doing one episode a month over at Maloney Sports Bar and Grill. So we'll be shooting something before St. Patrick's Day. We'll be shooting something during Royal season, during the World Cup. So we're super excited to welcome them as one of our resident sponsors. Over there at Maloney's at 79th, right off of 79th and Metcalf. They've got TVs everywhere. Make sure you always have a good time when the game is on. Daily food and drink specials. Some specials to highlight, we get the 25% off on apps Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 for dine-in only. On Wednesday, they've got trivia from 7 to 9. Any drink specials available throughout the week is available on Wednesday. Outdoor seating, you guys, they've got over 70 outdoor tables for those unexpected warm days this time of year. The rooftop deck, we did an episode there on the rooftop deck for the Kansas-Missouri game, and it was one of the best episodes we had. The crowd was great. We will be promoting back and forth between what we're doing over at Maloney's. So look on Maloney's page to look at some of their stuff when they're doing on our sponsorship. They'll be doing the promoting as far as when we're going to be there shooting live. So we would love people to come on, join the set. We'll be handing out T-shirts. We're looking at March Madness, starting with the Big 12 tournament beginning 3:10. Championship games Saturday on 3:14. Selection Sunday 3:15. Please come out to Maloney's. Great bartenders, great staff. The food's great there, you guys. We're super excited about having them as a resident sponsor. Please follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on our YouTube. Please go on there and subscribe. When you guys are doing that, check all of our links for our sponsors, because we'll be hosting our Maloney's link on there, so people will be able to go and check out specials, see when we're doing our show, and we will be promoting on there when we're doing our live podcast. So starting in March, we'll have a couple shows at Maloney's, and then from there about once a month. So thank you to everybody over at Maloney's for being a sponsor of Love You Bro Podcast. Welcome back to Love You Bro Podcast, where I'm with Victor Williams from the Victor Williams Basketball Academy.
For sure.
Kansas City legend right here, man. Legend, Vic. Legend.
Hey, I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule. I know your schedule's busy. I know what you've got going on here. Let's talk a little bit more about your basketball academy, where it started, what made you want to start it, and then we'll talk about the years of kind of the growth and kind of where it is today.
Well, for me, it really started with asking my mom for $20. I mean, really, it did.
Yeah.
And I came back from college, man, and I was really, really excited about having a chance to play in the NBA. I was playing in the D League
Right.
and things like that, and some things just didn't kind of work the way I wanted it to. I got hurt at had a bad ankle sprain, kind of at a bad time, and when you're a 5'9" point guard, you got a small window.
Of course.
You got a small window, and you got to maximize that small
Right.
window. And God just had other plans for me. So I will always remember Coach Sutton would always talk to me about, leadership and
Right.
things like that. And he thought I had a gift from a leadership standpoint. And he would say, Victor, when you ever get done with playing basketball, you're going to be a hell of a coach. And when he said it at the time, I was like, man, coach, you don't think I'm good enough to play in the league? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Right.
hey, man, I'm your starting point guard. You talking about coaching.
Right.
So I really didn't attach to it. But I came home one day, and I needed some gas money. And my mom, she my rock. She the one to tell me the truth. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't raise nobody soft.
Of course.
And she was like, babe, I'm tired of you asking me for money.
Right.
She was like, you need to start working out some kids or something.
Right.
You need to do something. Like,
Right.
And when she said that, I got in my car, and I just kind of had this thought process. Coach Sutton and my mom saying the same thing. Two people I respect the most.
Of course.
And so I called up a friend of mine in Oklahoma that was working at the the athletic facility at the time, and
Right.
I said, hey man, I need you to make me a flyer, and I want you to make it. I'm gonna start training.
Right.
It's just something that I'm
Yeah,
start
of
training
course,
basketball. So she made me this flyer, sent it to me. I made it. I started printing it out, and I started taking it to these different gyms, and then I started working out some kids,
Right.
and I would see this passion of mine that just continued to just like elevate.
Right.
And how excited I was to just like see people do simple things.
Of course.
Like I would just like the details of the game. I just seen my passion. Like they didn't have the footwork, and then they'd have it the next week, and I would be so excited about this small
That's
detail.
your kid.
Thing.
That's your kid.
Like man, I remember he couldn't make a left hand leg, and so I got so excited about the details, and that's where it started, man. It's from the details, small details, and seeing people grow.
Right.
And the feeling that you get when you see something grow.
Right.
Planting a seed, you water it, and all of a sudden you walk outside your house and you just see something beautiful.
Right.
And that's how I started to approach
Right.
relationships and teaching. And it just grew from there, man. And I still have that same passion today.
You know, our moms are always the smartest people in the room,
Oh, man, for
They're
sure.
our queens, man.
For
They're
sure,
our
for
queens.
sure.
But listen, to have a legend like Coach Sutton tell you that he saw that in you when you were on the floor,
Absolutely.
being a point guard, being a leader, that he knew you'd be a hell of a coach. That's a big accolade to hear from a coach like Coach Sutton. Coach Sutton's a legend.
He's a legend, man. He's a legend, and for him to tell me that, like at the time, you know, and it's just like you don't appreciate when you in it with certain people that push you outside your comfort zone. You have you have a little bit of a lot of resistance to it at first, and then when that person that pushed you is gone,
Right.
you see how special that person really was to you.
Right.
And so for Coach, he was one of them people for me, for sure.
Right.
Like, so when I wasn't in his practices anymore, a lot of things he said started to make sense. Like, it's weird. And so yeah, I still to this day hold on to a lot of things he said.
You know, Vic, I played when I came out of high school. I played baseball at Johnson County Community College, and I played for Coach Shelley. And Coach Shelley came on the podcast, and we laughed about a lot of stuff because he said, you were that hardhead. You want to do everything your way. You wanted to drink, chase girls, and do all this stuff. And I was like, so we talked about a lot of stuff. But here's the thing, though, playing 2 years for him, as much as he pushed me, yelled at me, screamed at me. When I hurt my shoulder and knew I wasn't going to pitch anymore, he asked me to come back and coach.
Absolutely.
He asked me to come back. He asked me,
Absolutely.
and so I asked him about that, and he said, as mad as I was getting you, and listen, there was 12 pitchers on our staff, and I was probably 12th, Vic.
Right.
I was left-handed. I didn't throw hard.
Right.
I lost a lot of my velocity in high school. I was trying to, teach myself how to survive in college, which I did.
Right.
But like Coach Shelley said, I'll never forget towards the very end, we had some guys on our team throwing 90 miles an hour.
Right.
And he told some of these cats, man, if you had his balls
Right.
and throwing that, you be in the majors.
Right.
This poor kid ain't got a chance
Right.
because he throws 83, 84.
Right.
He ain't going to but he'll go up there and act like he throws 99.
Absolutely.
And he told me, he's like, I could see it in you that you wanted to coach and that you loved. I never did because I just, I took other business opportunities up. But like I said, that's cool that Coach Sutton saw that in you. Of course, being a point guard on the squad, he's going to see that, let you know, hey, you be a great coach someday.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you go start handing out the flyers. What goes on from there?
So I started to get some kids from the school called Nativity.
Yeah.
And Nativity is a school that a lot of the parents had a lot of money.
Of course.
And so I started to make a couple of kids that I had early. They were starting to get better, so some kids were starting to know. It's like, man, like, what are you doing? They was like, oh man, I trained with Victor Williams. He's the former point guard at Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
And so pretty soon I would get more kids, and they would come in, and I would make them better, and then it was just kind of something that kind of snowballed. And that's why I always tell people like the one thing about holding people accountable, it makes them better.
Right.
It's just no escaping it.
Of course.
Like, you're going to get better if you become accountable to the details, like detailing the details, right? You're going to get better. Just small things make you better. And so I just always focus on that, so my business will continue to grow, because people would get better. It was nothing special that I was doing. It was just like I'm just holding them accountable to the details.
The proof was in the pudding, right?
Proof was in, So 23 years in, like, it's just the same thing. Like, you come in and you watch my workouts. It's not some big thing that I'm doing. It's just detailing the details,
Right.
holding them accountable for their attitude and their effort, be an everyday person,
Right.
detail the details, everything else take care of
Right.
itself.
I saw a little something that you posted up on social media
Mm-hmm.
today, and I want to ask about, because I saw something you were kind of posting and talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
We don't even need to go about what the post is about. It was about a tournament, but I want to talk about, because I saw something there that said you hold your kids accountable
Mm-hmm.
as far as not just what they're doing in the court, but what they're doing in the classroom. Tell me a little bit about that.
For sure. I mean, I think all of those things go hand in hand. I mean, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Right.
And, I've never seen a really good high-level athlete that didn't put a lot of competitive spirit into life and doing it the right way and being an everyday person. Like, so, basketball one day you're gonna spend more time being just an everyday guy or everyday woman than you are playing basketball or you are playing sports. So I just make sure that they understand, like, hey, look, how you what you do on the court, what you do off the court, all of those things go hand in hand. So
What's your youngest team that you have here in your academy?
It's my sixth grade team.
Sixth grade
Yep,
team.
I got a sixth
And
grade
how
team.
old are they?
They
12?
Yeah, 12,
Sixth
13.
grade?
Yep, 12 going on 13. Yep.
So when you hold tryouts, is that something you talk about when they're coming in? Like, you let their parents know, like, hey, it's not just about coming in for tryouts and making our squad here, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold them accountable. Well, what do you do? Do you look at their GPA? Do you look at their? Or you talk to the parents? Like,
Yeah.
how does that work?
I have so at this particular time in my career, people are not coming to me unless they want to let me hold their kid accountable. It's like reputation at this point. So, like, it's like, you ask somebody that knows some it's gonna get around that somebody has had this experience,
Right.
and they're gonna say, "You go to Vic, bro. This is how it's gonna be."
Right.
So it's no like, I didn't know you was gonna be hard on my kids. I didn't know you was gonna be. They already know. So,
Right.
so I don't have to really have that
that's good.
kind of talk anymore.
Right.
But I do talk to my parents about understanding that the classroom is the most important thing. And I want to, because everybody is different. Like, if somebody would say, hey, Vic, you have to have a 4.0 when I was in high school.
Right.
Like, that would have been hard for me.
I would have been playing, Vic.
Hey, man, I've been trying. I've been trying. Like I wasn't as good of a student from just connecting standpoint at that time in my life.
Right.
So, but my mama knew what I needed to have.
Right.
She put the type of pressure on me to have this, and if it goes under this, then you're not playing basketball.
Right.
And so each parent is different, so I allow them to tell me what they think. Now, if they go under that, then
Right.
So
Right. I remember back in the day at Rockers playing alongside a guy named Kenyon Rashid. And Rashid, I'm telling you, it wasn't the school that was tough. His mom was tough, man. So rest in peace. But his mom was tough. Because his mom would be like, I don't care how great they're telling you are over here. Yeah. If you're not doing this and you're not putting the grades in, you ain't playing. I'll call coach and tell him you're not playing.
Absolutely.
And I was like, wow, man. I was like, man, Geraldine. I tell Kenny, man, Geraldine, tough with you, bro. He's like, bro, I'm telling you right now, if I don't do what I'm supposed to do inside the home, and I'll take care of my grades, Mom ain't gonna let me play.
Mom ain't letting you have it. Yeah,
Right.
Exactly. So that's kind of how I manage the off the court stuff. But it's small things off the court with my teams. Just how you can holding the door open for somebody, saying thank you,
Right.
Being able to speak to a waitress and let her know you appreciate,
Right.
And, all of that stuff. I teach them all small things, like things like that to help them in character,
Right.
hold them pressure to that, and hopefully that allows them to be good individuals as they get older.
Man, that's great, Vic. It's great what you're doing here with this program. So tell me how many different teams do you have inside the Victor Williams Basketball Academy right now?
So right now I just got my sixth grade. So I used to have a lot of young teams.
Okay.
So I only have a sixth grade young team. I don't do as much young basketball,
Right.
but I want to actually start getting back into it. Something that I'm actually going to talk to everybody about really starting to build that. 'Cause I think right now the kids, they really need it more than ever right now. They need that discipline early,
Right.
Because a lot of times when they don't have it, then it's you don't build the beast at that time. It's just hard for you to get it late.
Right.
But so it's something that I'm thinking about really doing and starting up my younger program. But right now I start with my ninth grade. I have a sixth grade team, but then with my high school, it's my ninth grade, and I got my sophomores and my juniors.
So you got 15, 16, 17?
15, 16, 17. Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna make you a promise, and I mean this because part of me doing this podcast was me getting with some of my clients and being like, man, you've got a story to tell. you love sports, you love athletics, you love the coaches, the players, the legends. You love being around this so much, and you want to give back so much. Part of what I want to do, though, and I'm being honest, Vic, I'm blessed to work with a lot of great NFL guys, NBA guys, and they're always looking for places to get back and to do anything I can do, our podcast can do to help out the academy.
Absolutely.
I don't care if it's sponsorships or something. Let me know what it is, bro, because I'm serious. Watching what you're doing here, it's special, and anything that I could do to be a part of help. Nobody needs to know about it but me and you, but I'm just saying, let me know if there's something that I can do. I can reach out to some of my players and be like, hey, man, look at this basketball academy here. Here's what he's needing right now as he's growing his academy.
Absolutely. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, there's something I can do, man. I'd absolutely jump in. So you've got your 6th grade team, and then you've got your 15, 16, 17 U's. Are you a part of coaching all the teams, or do you have certain head coaches that are coaching those teams?
So I coach my 15s, but I also got, coaches that help. That coach that. I got a guy named Anthony Bonner that coaches our 15s. Lawrence Brown will be coaching it this year. Anthony has his own training. He played at Colorado State. He's a player that played up under me for a long time. So he's a heck of a coach, heck of a teacher, doing a really good job right now with this his training program that he has down in Lawrence. Lawrence is also a player that played for me. He played at Mercer. He actually played high school basketball at Barstow, and now he's gonna come and coach our 15s team. He's assistant coach at Rockhurst right now. Really good leader, good person. Does a really good job with kids, teaching them. My 16 is coached by Twadell Love, who was head coach up. He's assistant coach right now at Blue Springs South. Head coach at Plattsburgh, Missouri. Went to state both times. Lost in the state championship once. Heck of a coach. I mean, he's one of the special basketball minds around here. Like, he knows the game. Like, does a great job teaching the game from an X and O perspective, relationships, organization. I mean, he's the full package when it comes to being a really elite coach. I mean, I think the next high school job he gets is going to be very special, man. He gonna do a great job. Also got Matt Gore, who coaches with me with my 17s. Again, elite coach. Been coaching a lot of high-level players. Been with Coach Billy now for a bunch of, I can't even tell you how many. I think it's over 10 for sure. I won some state championships with Coach Billy at Barstow. And
it was over at Rockhurst right?
Now they winning over at Rockhurst. I mean, winning follows people, man. So winning follows winners is what I say. So both of those guys are winners, and so Matt's always been, has been helping me coach and great leader. He's one of those guys that kind of he's one of those kind of guys that, like, I'm like the loud guy all the time. He usually gets loud when he needs to get loud. So he's one of those guys that just does it. He does a great job. So yeah, my program, man. I my name is on it. I get a lot of credit for it. But I don't deserve it all. You know what I mean? My program is way much bigger than me, bro. Like, it's a
lot of pieces to it.
A lot of pieces to it. And I tell them all the time, man, like, the thing about our program, I don't know if it would still be going on if it wasn't for the people that's involved in it. My wife is another one. Like, people look at my business and look at my gym and look at so much around me, the organization part of it. Like, anybody that know me know I'm the least organized person. Don't call Vic and ask for nothing. Vic does not know. So my wife is the one, man. She's the quiet assassin behind the scenes. She puts it all together. She just does what she does. I made a post today about a guy talking about my 6th grade team, and it had some music on it at first, and it had some cuss words she didn't like on it. And she come running there, hey babe, you got this music on here, you need to get it out. Cause she's always thinking business. Like, she don't care about no rivalry. Like, man, this is business. Like, and so she takes my phone and erases it. And I let her. Hey, hey, this is what you do. So if this is what you do, I gotta let you do what you do, right?
Hey, and behind every great man's a great woman,
right? So she's the imprint of behind it all, and she's I'm grateful for it.
So when do you start? You know, you got your 15, 16, 17. When do you start? You know, do you hold tryouts like in the fall? Do you hold tryouts like after the season's over? When do you hold tryouts so you know you've got your squad picked? And then when does the AAU season start?
So this year we got a trial starting March 15th,
Okay.
March 14th, 15th. See, that's a Coach T and wife question. They know that for sure.
Right.
But that's I think it's 14th, 15th, and we usually start our tournaments in April.
Okay.
So we play on the recruit look circuit,
Okay.
who does a great job for us, and we've had D1s, a bunch of D1s, high level D2 players come out of our program every year, and they do a good job of providing the right competition and bringing the college coaches in. So we play for them, and it's been a great experience, man.
So how many high school games do you get out to during the season?
I try to get out to a lot of them.
Right.
I got a lot of players that train in this gym, man, and I like to go out and see them play, girls, boys.
Right, of course.
And the one thing about it, man, I it's so hard for me to be at so many places at once, and my gym has a special relational piece to it, to where the accountability is there.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because I could show up to a game with my players, and you could tell like they intensity automatically kind of just
up another notch.
like that. I'm about to show him like what's up, and I love that. I really do, and so I try to get out as many games as I can, but it's hard to be at so many places and following Isaiah. At Iowa, you got Keaton at Illinois, you got my girls basketball players. So I'm just trying to follow everybody and watch. I'll be at a high school game watching a college game on my phone.
Right.
I'll be at a college game watching a high school game on my phone. So it's a fun place to be, man. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Let's talk a little bit about Isaiah and what he's doing over there at Iowa.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about him.
Yeah, Isaiah is the perfect piece that I think that kids should hear about. They don't hear enough about Zay. Zay's a chill guy, but he did all the shoe company stuff. Keaton just kind of stayed away from it, but Isaiah did it, and like when he was young, tried out for those teams, did all of that stuff, and they didn't like him. They cut him. And when I got him, I said, man, this dude motor is insane.
Right.
Like, that's a Division I player.
Right.
And he played for Coach T at Plattsburgh. And I remember talking to him when he first came. I'm like, man, listen, you can play high major basketball from this program.
Right.
And it took me a little bit of time to convince him from that, because it's just hard, kids see the line.
Right.
And but yeah, man, he's a great kid, come from a great family. I coached him hard. Never heard one peep sound from his mom. Never heard hard from his dad. None of that. Like that, so he's a dude, man.
Yeah.
And so
he's doing big things over Iowa.
He's doing big things, man. Playing for Coach Mack, who's as good as he gets in the country, and he's learning a lot. And the one thing about Isaiah, he ain't gonna blame nobody but himself. Like, that's the one thing about him I love, man. He just has the ability to stay accountable, and he's a tough kid, and I love him.
Hey, listen, we talked a little bit about Keaton Wagler earlier. We spoke a little bit about him. When did Keaton make his decision to go to Illinois? Was that after his high school season was over? And my thing was, I knew they said Illinois was in early, right? Illinois and Minnesota were in early. Would he have changed it all if some other Power Fives would have come, or was he just like, you know what, Illinois came first. I'm sticking my deal with Illinois. Did that change at all during his recruiting?
Nah, I mean, Keaton's one of those guys where, like I said, he's the most self-confident kid I know. I ain't met nobody that self-confident, especially at that age. Like, he got an old soul. So Keaton evaluates things for what he feels and what he sees. So like he felt that was family. Like, he felt it.
Right.
I could just see him. I was on a visit with him, and I'm watching him. and he's so, like, it's hard to read Keaton. You're not reading him.
Right.
But I could tell he was just kind of locked in on, like, okay, like, I see this situation. I see it. I see the coach, and I see how I can grow here. And Coach Underwood is a hard-nosed, hey, look, I'm going to challenge you kind of coach. Yeah. So some people run away from a thing like that. He runs towards things that's going to challenge him. Right. So knowing those factors, I think Illinois had the best shot no matter who came, because he wanted to play for somebody that's going to challenge him. And just the rest is what it is. Like, he's doing great things.
I'm looking forward to see what he does here down the stretch, man. Come March, my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, the one thing about Key, I could tell you, he'll be ready for the moment. He won't be overly excited about it. You know, he won't be shaking in his boots at all.
Right.
I mean, it'd be an experience for him. I want to see him play. You know, I just like watching him play. I
course.
mean, it's crazy because it's like I just like watching him play.
Right.
Like I don't get caught up in who he is to me because I'm a
Right.
basketball guy.
Of course.
I like watching him play.
Yeah.
I've had people that play for me. I didn't like watching play.
Yeah.
I'd be like, bro, I don't like watching you play,
Right.
bro. Like, you don't do the right things.
Right.
Like you don't. Like, you shoot bad shots. I love you, but I don't like watching you play.
Shoot bad shots. I love that.
Like, yeah, you're not playing. You're not playing no D. Keaton is one of those guys.
Right.
Isaiah's the same way.
Yeah.
Like, you know, those guys come from our program, but I enjoy watching them play,
Right.
even if they didn't. Like,
course.
so it's fun just to watch him accomplish what he's accomplished.
Tell me right now, as Love You Bro podcast and our listeners and people be watching, all the basketball people to be tuning in, who should they be looking out for coming out of your program next?
Man, I got a really good, and I don't like to speak too
No,
fast.
I
You know what I'm saying?
I
I like to speak because they still have to do the work.
Of course.
They got to do the work.
Of course.
And because we done had some success the last 2 years with
Right.
high major guys.
Right.
You know, with Isaiah and
Yeah.
Keaton following that. Now, who's next?
Yeah, and I'm not
You know,
saying
you
that's
know,
not
you
a
know.
D1 guy, but I'm just saying, like, who's in your program
Yeah.
that's sticking out that you like?
I mean, I know the reason why I said that
Yeah.
because I have
You have
I
that
have
dog.
some guys.
You have that.
I have some guys, and you know, Keller Doherty is probably the one that's people are thinking about. I got
Right.
Tiki Dang,
Okay.
that's he's about 6'11", can run the floor, block
Ooh.
shots.
Where's
shoot
he
the
playing high
three.
school ball right now?
He playing at Olathe North.
Olathe North?
Yeah, we got him when he was a freshman.
Okay.
Keller Doherty is an overly skilled 6'9", you know, probably 6'10" now. He just grew again.
Where's Keller at?
At least some. He's
At least-
yeah. He the big kid that they got, but
Okay.
he can bring it up on a break. He can shoot
Right.
threes. He's another one. We got some other kids that I think got a real good chance to be
Okay.
really, really good players. Like this
Right.
team, like those two guys will be guys that when you look, you be like, okay, those guys got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
But I got pieces around them that if they can kind of emerge
Right.
to be something
Right.
from a physical, competitive standpoint, they'll be, you know,
Right.
they can emerge to be something. So I want to make sure I put pressure on them to continue to get better. Yeah.
So you're telling me here in the high school playoffs, I should go check out Olathe North and Lee Summit?
Yeah,
Are those some watches?
I will watch those
Okay.
two for sure.
We did one of our shows at Municipal Auditorium when Rockers played Shawnee Mission East.
Yeah.
There was over 5,000 people there,
I know
bro.
that was special, man. I was actually out of town watching Keaton play that weekend, and Matt. And Coach Matt was telling me about it because I got a bunch of players that play for us to play on Rockers,
Right.
and he sent me some videos. I'm like, dang, this is some old school.
Old school.
Old school. What was that game that was there with Tyronn Lue? And
Yeah, Raytown and Central.
Right, yeah, there was some
Central.
old school stuff going on in there, for
Yeah.
sure.
Hey, Vic, listen, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, man. I know how busy it is. Listen, you're part of the family now, and I told you
Hey,
there's
I
something I
love
can do to help out, man. I would love to do that.
Okay.
I'm going to get out and check your program out this spring, check some of these teams out. But listen, you're part of the Love You Bro family now, bro. So
I'm with it.
Always welcome.
I'm with
love
it.
you, bro.
Love you too, bro.
Okay, appreciate
Love
it,
you
man.
too,
Thank
bro.
you.
Thank
hey,
you.
listen, this is Love You Bro podcast, man, from Victor Williams Basketball Academy, one of the legends in Kansas City. Great show tonight. Please follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We're out of here, but we're going to continue bringing you Kansas City legends. We'll just watch the things that this comes out of this program here with the legend Victor Williams.
Appreciate it.